This is the Springtime with Dalton tag, created by Dalton over at Stripcover Lit. I was tagged by Steve Donahue, who requested Skippy appear in the video, but I don't think she's going to stay in the whole thing, and I can't stay in this position on the floor. So, here she is, Steve. Maybe she'll pop in a little bit later. Let's get started on the tag. Oh, God. So since it is a spring tag, I thought I'd come outside. It's beautiful and sunny today, about 54 degrees, a little chilly with the wind. We were actually forecasted to get snow later today, so I don't think that's going to happen, but I think it's still maybe in the forecast for the next couple of days, so yay, snow in April. Thought we were all done with that. But anyway, let's get started with this tag here. There are about 7 prompts here. Number 1 is springtime is a time of rebirth and renewal. What new author did you read this year? Now, I'm assuming they mean new to me, not just like new as in debut author. So my new author that I read this year, don't laugh, Jane Austen. Yes, finally got around to reading one of her books, in this case Pride and Prejudice. Really, really enjoyed it. I love her writing style. I love the way she let the characters tell the story through their dialogue, and sometimes through imagined dialogue. It's sort of just told what they said, but not word for word, not verbatim, so it's sort of left to the reader to kind of figure that out. I love the humor that she had within this book. Just quite a really great balance on it. Number 2, what is the best new book you read this year? Again, that would be Pride and Prejudice. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this one. If I were to pick another one, other than that, it would have to be Anthony Trollope's The Eustace Diamonds. Just this conniving woman, Lizzie Eustace, and how she kind of just manages to outmaneuver everybody. She's so despicable, but you just love despising this character throughout this story, and the characters that come within it. This is the 3rd book in the Palliser series, so we have a lot of returning characters from earlier books, and ones that we will see later on within the series, and I absolutely loved it. I really, really am enjoying his writing. But I couldn't pick him as new author this year because I did actually read the first one in the series last year. Bless you. Number 3, what is your go-to book to return to? Probably if I were to look at how many books I've reread over the years, not a whole lot. I'm not a big rereader. But one book that I've reread the most times, and I've mentioned that before here on this channel, is my all-time favorite book. That would be Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. Just seeing the story through the eyes of Scout Finch, a young girl in the Deep South, and just her childhood with her brother and her friend, and just that small-town southern life. I just enjoy every aspect of it, and the writing is just absolutely beautiful. Sadly, her only actual book, if you can't count Ghost Out of Watchmen. But yeah, for some reason I just find myself returning to this book quite often, either in physical format or audio format or in the movie format. Up close and personal. 4, what are your reading goals for the season of spring? Just basically to read as much as possible. I have a couple books kind of on the docket that I would like to get to. Running out of space here. One of those would be a classic again. This is Swiss Family Robinson, Johann David Weiss. Figured that's a really good outdoorsy kind of feel to it. Shipwrecked family. You know, I've heard this story for so long, but never really read it. Don't know all the details of it, just other than it's a family that gets shipwrecked. So yeah, this beautiful Barnes & Noble children's edition. Looking forward to getting into that. Where to put these? Another one would be another book by Italo Calvino. I've only read Found a Winter's Night, A Traveler, and I really, really enjoyed that one. I'd like to read more Italian authors. I do have a couple of his books pending to be read, and this one, The Baron in the Trees, it's about a young Italian nobleman who rebels against parental authority by climbing into the trees and remaining there for the rest of his life. So an arboreal existence, as it says, and I'm just really curious as to see how that story is going to take place. And like I said, just kind of really just enjoying reading what I want, taking my time with it, not worrying about any goals, good read goals. Like I said, my goal is pretty low this year, so I'm already halfway through, and it's not even halfway through the year. So I can just focus on reading what I want, taking my time with it, and just enjoying it. Next one. What are your spring writing goals? I don't have any. I'm not a writer. I don't blog. I don't write novels. I'm not a writer, so I don't really have any. Number 6, what is the one novel that gets you excited for outdoors? Generally, any kind of travel writing. I love reading travel writing books. Two of my favorite authors, I'll show you my favorite books from them. One is Bill Bryson, Notes from a Small Island. And in fact, I believe Dalton picked his book, Walk in the Woods. I read that, I think it was last year. It was one of the few ones, I was like kind of late to that one. I read so many of his other books, and A Walk in the Woods is the one he's most known for, and surprisingly, it's the one I least cared for. I just didn't get along with it. Yeah, I didn't care for it. I like this one much better. This is his own story about being an American who had been living in the UK for almost like 2 decades, and it describes it in the back, which I thought was funny. He says he read that 3.7 million Americans believe that they've been abducted by aliens at one time or another, so it was clear my people needed me. So he decides to return to America, but before he does that, he kind of takes a tour around the UK. So these are his notes from that small island, and the people he encounters and stuff, and I just really, really enjoyed it. And my other favorite author for outdoors kind of travel writing is Peter Mayle. A Year in Provence. I think this is perfect for springtime, although it does cover obviously an entire year. But it's about Peter and his wife, how they retire and leave England and move to Provence, where they move to the Luberon, to a remote kind of 2 centuries old stone farmhouse that they bought on site, and they have to kind of renovate it, and just everything they encounter with the people working on the house and how long it takes things to get done, and the people living there and the quirky characters, and it's just absolutely one of my favorite books. There's a couple books in this series. I forgot the name of the other one now, but they also did a mini-series on this one starring John Thaw as Peter Mayle. Encore Provence, yeah, that was the other one, and Toujours Provence. So it's kind of a trilogy, but you can really just read this one. But I really, really enjoy this, and I think it has a good feel for outdoors. It makes me kind of want to be there. And the last prompt is like reading outdoors, as in, I guess, do you like to do that? And every chance I get, I absolutely love it. I don't know if you can see in this backyard here, there are no neighbors behind us. It's sort of a quarry area. My nearest neighbor's on the side. You can't even see, all you see is their grassy yard. So there are patios around the house. And on this side, it's, quite distant. So, yeah, it's nice and quiet. There's not, really road traffic or neighbors behind you to disturb you. You just have the chirping birds and stuff. And if the weather's nice and warm, it's quite delightful out here. So I don't have a lot of distractions. I have more distractions in the house. If I can get away from, leave my phone or iPod in the house, even fewer distractions. So I just love to be out here as much as possible. So yeah, I read outside every chance I get. Who I'm going to tag, I don't really know yet. I'll probably put some people listed down below. If you're watching this channel, definitely feel free to do it. Do it while spring is here. Hopefully if you go outside, it won't be a blizzard at the moment when you go to film. But hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.